In this video, we'll learn how to make a dual axis map in Tableau. In this data, the two data sets are airports and World Heritage Sites. So you can also zoom in to the country, for example, Austria, and then you'll see the World Heritage Sites as well as the airports. Once you're zoomed in, you can also check different types of airports. Right now, it's default set to large airports. You can turn on medium airports, even heliports, and so on and so forth. So how do we bring these two data sets and merge them into a single map in this way? We'll start from the beginning. There's two data sources. One data source is a shape file of all the airports, and the second data source is a CSV file of the World Heritage Sites. So let's begin with a brand new Tableau file. And then in this new file, we'll have to connect to the data. I'll put the links to the data in the description. First, you'll go to the spatial file, and the spatial file is typically a zip file that contains all the spatial data. In this case, all the airports, I think about 70,000 airports around the world. Okay. And then the second data set is the World Heritage Site. So we're going to add the text file, the World Heritage Sites 2024 data. And to link them together, we could use maybe the either the country or the longitude and latitude. Let's try longitude and latitude. So first drag the World Heritage Site, link it together. Let's try, we could try country as well. So let's try ISO, the ISO country code. And then here, let's try the ISO country code. There might be some problems because the ISO country code and the World Heritage Site, as you see here, is in, I believe, lowercase. You see these lowercase, whereas here in the airports database, the ISO countries code is gonna be in uppercase, I believe. Um, and so we have to make sure the cases match. Um, yeah, this is the ISO country. There are two letters. So when we make the link, we have to make a change and do a calculated field instead of just selecting the variable name. You just type in the keyword or the function called upper. Upper makes it, converts it to uppercase. So that's done. Now the data sets are linked, but let's make the map of the airports. And because it's a shapefile, there's a geometry variable. The good news is with geometry, you can just drag it in the middle, or you can even just double click and it'll show you every single airport in the world, 70 plus. So I go to show me and click on this star map. The problem is it's aggregating all the airports. So you take the ID and drag it into detail. That separates the airports into separate dots. It's all bunched together. That's because there's so many of them. You can decrease the size. You can also filter them. So I'm going to take the type of airport and filter for only the large airports. Now it's much more manageable. Okay, that's one map, the airport map. So let's call this map airports. Let's do a second map. This second map is a CSV file, not a shape file. So we take the longitude onto the column, drag the latitude into the rows. Again, single dot. The reason is you don't have the ID, so let's drag ID into detail. Lots of dots. Looks good. Um, so the question is now you have two of these maps, but they're in separate worksheets. Let's make them into a single worksheet. So the recommendation is to go to the shape file of all the airports. This is like a very hidden trick. You hold down the shift key, you hold down the control key and you drag this over here to the right. Now there's two layers. The change is that there's two layers of longitude and there's two layers here. If I were to update the data in one of these layers. For example, here I would delete the collection. I might delete the ID, and I would just put in the uh, World Heritage Sites because these are the airports, I believe. So the World Heritage Sites has a name for each one of them. So let's drag the name in English onto maybe the tooltip or the detail. Let's put in detail. Let's see what happens. So it's okay. Let's merge these two longitudes into a dual axis. Click down, choose dual axis. And I believe I still only have the um yeah, I still only have the uh airports. Let's try this. Go to maps. No. Okay, so we might need to take the IDs maybe. Let's try the IDs. Put it into detail. Let's see what else can we try. Okay, so I figured out what was missing here. We actually have to take the geometry from the world airports, even though this is the World Heritage Sites layer of the map. We have to take the geometry and put that in here into the details. Now we have the World Heritage Sites and the airports. To distinguish these two icons, I was able to, in a uh, earlier in a separate step, I won't show this step in the video, I was able to create custom icons, custom shapes in Tableau. So what we have to do is choose shapes, open up the shape, go to more shape, and select. This is a new one I added to my Tableau software, and choose the airplane icon, apply. And now, hopefully, let's see if it worked. The airports are airplane icons. The World Heritage Sites, I think I'll keep them as circles, but I'll make them different colors depending on the category of the site. Is it a nature site? Is it cultural site? So that's or a mixed site. So we have different colors, and you can change the colors and set the colors this way. Okay. Um, so nature site will be green, and mix should not be red. Maybe something. Okay, and then here, just for now. So I could also um, label the names of these sites. You can drag name onto the tooltip, and then you can see the name. You can reorder, of course, actual display, and then put that. Okay. Okay. See, so that's we don't need the ID. Okay. Great. So that's this is what we have here. Um, and at this step, we can show the countries and have this country interaction. So let's open up country and add that as a filter. The state name English show filter. Here we can make this a single click um, list, single value list. Oh no, let's make sure it's an OR. Okay. And if you click around the country, let's say Austria, it shows Austria. Um, it seems like there's an issue here. It's only showing one side. And so we're gonna have to troubleshoot a little bit. So here's the problem. I think I made a mistake. I reversed the using the geometry. I should remove geometry. Instead, I should use the longitude and latitude here. So I take the longitude and latitude from the World Heritage Sites because the geometry is in the airport. So this is kind of a very advanced tip, or it's a very, hidden skill. We have to take the longitude and latitude and put this into detail. So he has some knowledge of this map and the coordinates. So now if I go to Austria, by the way, this pin lets you zoom in, zoom out. If it's turned on, you'll zoom into the country. If it's zoomed out, nothing's going to happen. If I turn it on, that happens. Okay, so the way this works is that it shows the sites, mostly cultural sites, shows the airport, and I might want to show different types of airports. So I'm gonna go to the type of airports, the airports type. If I click show the filter, and now the user can select medium-sized airports. So when I'm in traveling, I can allow medium-sized airports and small airports and even heliports and so on and so forth. But for now, we'll leave it in the medium and large. And if you go back to the main map, as you'll see, um, even with medium turned on, it's not legible and not fun to use. So this is for now okay. The wall header size are a little too big, so in the full map, I'll decrease it a little. If you want to make the circle stand out, you could um, change the opacity, make the border really, uh, noticeable. And if you want, add a little halo. Of course, the size, I think, is now too small. So something like this. This is a dual layer map with both settings with interactions to select, for example, Norway. And you'll see Norway has a lot of airports because it's of the landscape. Let's turn all of it on. You see even in the Arctic Circle, it has a bunch of airports. You can change the tooltip. For the airports, I would definitely show the name of the airport in the tooltip. So this is it. That's the airport. Let's go back to large, Norway. And lastly, if you want to um, make the map look nicer, you can go to map, background layer, choose, I like the Alda satellite maybe, satellite map. It's kind of a little too strong, but you can wash it out a little bit, something like this. You can add in the country borders. You can add in some of these information. If you have names, it's going to be very difficult to read any other interesting things. Okay, so let's zoom back out to the whole world, see how it goes. One last thing is for this filter, some countries don't have any of these, so I might go to show only relevant values. That just makes a slightly shorter list. Okay, and so let's try now just to test it again. Japan. So let's click on Japan. Let's try JK. Oh, let's say in Indonesia. Yeah, the airports and the World Heritage Sites. Airports and World Heritage Sites. You might want to increase the zoom level of both of them a little bit, like this, when you're zoomed in. Okay, if you're zoomed out, you might look a little too big. So that's something you have to play with. Okay, let's say Argentina airports. Okay, I think I'll stop here. So that's how we make the dual layer map. Make sure you have the geospatial information in the details, uh, whether it's the geometry or the longitude, latitude. Great. Have fun making more maps.